Hi, it's Kelsey with Joyful Healthy Living, and today we're going to talk about sleep. Everybody loves sleep. Well, that's not completely true. I know someone that doesn't love sleep. But we're going to talk about how sleep is related to depression. So we actually spend about a third of our life sleeping, which literally blows my mind away. Because that is just so much time. The topic of sleep has just been a baffling topic for people throughout history. The Greeks used to believe that it was a state between life and death, that when you went to sleep, you weren't necessarily alive, but you weren't necessarily dead. And a lot of religions throughout time have also believed sleep as a time when you can talk to God and have revelation from God. But sleep wasn't super studied until about the 1900s. And it wasn't until the 1950s until they really started understanding what it was and what our brain and our body does while we sleep. So while we sleep, our body kind of does a cleanse. It removes toxins from our brain, it regulates the metabolism, and many, many more things. It's super, super crucial to mental health as well as physical health. As you can imagine, if your body doesn't get the sleep that it needs, it's not going to be able to complete all the functions that it's supposed to, and eventually your body's going to be super whacked and off balance, okay? So that's why irregular sleep is often a sign of depression. And it was actually the first sign that I noticed, or the first symptom that I noticed before I was diagnosed with depression, because my sleep was crazy. Anyways, so the doctors and therapists have kind of come together and they've kind of noticed 3 different patterns of irregular sleep that people often have when they're diagnosed with depression. So the first one is that they are having a really hard time going to bed. So they get all ready for bed, they lay in bed, and then they lay there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And they just can't go to sleep even though everything's right. So that's kind of the first pattern. The second pattern is they can go to sleep just fine, but you continue to wake up over and over and over and over and over again throughout the night. Some clarification: if you wake up in the middle of the night once or even twice and you get up, you go to the bathroom, you get a drink, go back to bed just fine, that's pretty normal for most people. But if it's a consistent, you're waking up every so often, that's kind of where it becomes irregular. The third one is sleeping way too much, okay? Most people are supposed to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, but if you're sleeping way more than that and you're having naps throughout the day and you're still feeling exhausted, that is where it becomes irregular. And that's something that I really struggle with. I'm always tired. I feel like I'm always sleeping, and that's why that was kind of one of the first things, like I said, that kind of made me feel like, something's not right here. So if you do have any of these patterns of sleep for more than 2 weeks, and you're starting to see other things starting to build, it might be time to go see a doctor or a psychiatrist or a therapist or someone who can maybe help you with these things, because if you're not getting the sleep, your body's not able to do everything that it's supposed to. But before you go see a doctor or a therapist, here are some things that you can try that might be able to help you sleep. The first one is limiting caffeine. I know it's the worst. Everyone loves their pop or soda, depending on where you're at, and everyone loves their coffee. But try to limit it and try not to drink any caffeine 4 to 6 hours before you go to bed. This way your body can be more relaxed and ready to go to sleep. The second one is really hard for me, but it's to limit your naps to less than 30 minutes every day, just so you can your body can be more prepared and ready to sleep, and that you can have a longer night's sleep. The third one is to make your room as dark as possible. This one's really important because in your brain you have a gland that's called the pineal gland. I can say that right. And it releases a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin is what helps you sleep. Well, this gland in your head in your brain, head, whatever, is light sensitive, okay? So if if it's too bright, it's gonna stop creating or releasing that hormone or chemical. And if it's dark, it's gonna release more of it. So if you're wanting to sleep better, make sure your room is dark. Also, another tip is you can turn your temperature down. People have a really hard time sleeping when they're hot because the body is kind of cooling, it's resting down, so it needs a cooler temperature. The next one is make a night routine. That's about 3 to 6 steps long. So it can be, for example, you go in, you get your pajamas on, you brush your teeth, you say your prayers, you say goodnight to your family, you turn the lights off, and you go to bed. That's a super simple routine, but as you do that routine, it trains your body to go, oh, we just did these steps, now it's time for bed. The next one is also a really hard one, but it's avoid using your phone before bed. The reason for this is, again, it kind of goes back up to that gland. When you're looking at your phone, it releases a bluish light that tells your mind to wake up. But if you absolutely have to use your phone before bed, it's okay. Just try to make sure you change it to the night mode, so it's kind of more of those orange colors instead of the blue colors, so that your body can start resting and be able to go to bed. So I really hope you liked this video. If you did, click the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next Thursday.